Hi, this is Katie. In today's video, I want to talk about how to get your car ready for a road trip. So this is kind of like preparing for a road trip, but a little bit more about your car and like safety kind of things. And so if you're interested in this video, I really hope that you're subscribed and I hope that you keep watching. So if you don't know me, hi, I'm Katie. I have gone on hundreds and hundreds of road trips in this little Toyota Yaris. And so yeah, I just wanted to give just a few pieces of advice. This is not like an all-inclusive list by all means, but just a few things that I do before I go on a road trip that's any longer than like 4 or 5 hours. And especially if I'm going to be going to a new place, I just want to give just a couple tips. So I'm just going to read them off my phone and explain the ones that I need to explain. The first thing that I really think is so important to do for your car if you're going to be going on a longer road trip is to bring it to a mechanic, get an oil change, and get a multi-point inspection. If you just got your oil change 2 weeks ago and you're about to go on a road trip, okay, that's a little bit different. But if it's been a while and you're about to go on a road trip that might be a few days or a few weeks, or even if it's only going to be 2 days but it is 1,500 miles, I really do recommend getting your oil changed, getting a multi-point inspection, just kind of getting everything in your car checked, getting your liquids topped off, getting your tires checked, stuff like that. One of the last times that I went to a mechanic, I was told that my car is burning oil. And so for me, it's really important to have oil in my car. So I do keep oil in my car, and every few hundred miles I will check my oil, and if it's low, I will add it in, kind of in between oil changes. So that's not going to replace an oil change by any means, but in between oil changes, if my car needs oil, I will just add to it. And then on top of that, I think it's really good to know some of the basics about your car, you know, and so to understand what some of the lights mean if they pop up on your dash, and to know how to put air in your tires, and to do something like maybe know how to add oil to your car. Things like that I think could be really important, and it could honestly make you feel a little bit like safer within your car, that if something goes wrong, you will know what to do. And here's the thing, I am not a mechanic, I'm not an expert by any means, but I know how to do some of the basics. And one of the other tips that I want to give is for everything else that's not basic, I really do think it's important to have AAA or to have a roadside assistance. Honestly, I think it's so important. I've had several times over the years, not like a lot by any means, but maybe, I don't know, 6-ish or 7 times over the last 10 years of me going on road trips where I had to call my roadside assistance, usually because my battery died. It's just in case of emergency, because you might be able to know how to do some of the stuff in your car, but there might be certain situations in your life when you're on a road trip that it would be really helpful to call AAA or a roadside assistance. So have one of those. They are not very expensive, and it could just be incredibly helpful if you have an emergency, you know? I know that with the whole common sense thing, sometimes we dismiss things that are common sense. I also know that sometimes some people might dismiss something if it's, oh, that will never happen to me, you know, that only happens to other people. My car will never break down. That only happens to someone else. I understand that we might think that, but for literally like, I don't know, $10 a month or $15 a month or something like that, I might be a little off, but I know it's not very expensive. It will kind of give you a little bit of like a sense of ease if something does happen to your car, because here's the thing, sometimes we are an exception to a rule, but sometimes we're not. And so there might be sometimes that you're on a road trip that it would be really helpful if you had AAA or roadside assistance to call. So I do recommend having that. And depending on the type of road trip that you're going on, the type of car you have, stuff like that, it might be helpful to have like an emergency kit, like an emergency battery in your car that you could jump your own car if your battery dies, even like a generator, something like that. Again, depending on your road trips and how you travel, it might be really helpful to have stuff like that in your car. Regardless, have AAA. Just get AAA. And obviously do your upkeep on your car. So if you're going to be going on a road trip for 2 months and you're going to be driving 15,000 miles, still make sure that, you know, you go to the mechanic every, depending on your car, 3, 4, 5,000 miles to get your oil changed and to get it checked and stuff like that. And do not ignore any of the little lights that might come on in your car, okay? Don't ignore them. Don't ignore them. Don't do that. Pull over, check it out, okay? All right, so if you are going to a new place, if you're going on a new road trip to somewhere that you've never been before, or just somewhere that you don't really know all the directions to, one of my biggest pieces of advice for a road trip is, say you're using, you know, your Maps app or Google Maps or whatever on your phone to get you from point A to point B. What I always do, even if it's a place I've been before, but there might be different ways to get there, but especially if I'm going somewhere new, I will always go to where there's a list of the directions, kind of like when we would use MapQuest and stuff like that, where there'd be a list of directions and I will take a screenshot of it on my phone. And that is just in case your phone stops working, you go out of service. Specifically for me, it's if I go out of service, because depending on my road trip, sometimes I will not be in service for a while. And so I always make sure to have a screenshot of my directions, and especially the written out directions, but also sometimes it might be helpful to have a screenshot of even like the little blue line of kind of the direction that you're going in, or even the road that you're supposed to be on for a while, something like that. I think it's incredibly important to do that just in case you lose service or something like that. Another thing to do, again, especially if you're on a road trip you've never been on before or going to a new state or something, but regardless, even if you've been on the road trip before, I think it could be helpful to have a little bit of an idea of where gas stations are, and potentially maybe a mechanic or something like that, but specifically gas stations, and specifically if you're in the US and you're gonna be more out west. One of the things that makes road trips on the East Coast so much easier is that you rarely lose service and you will hit a gas station every few miles. But when you're going more out west, you might lose service in like half of Montana or half of South Dakota, depending where you are. You might lose service for a little while, or even like maybe an hour or two. And you might not hit a gas station for like 45 minutes. So I just think it's important, again, especially if it's your first road trip in like a newer state, especially if it's out west, to just kind of have an idea. Look at a map, and maybe when you have service, maybe stop for a few minutes and just kind of check, okay, where's the next gas station? Okay, where's the one after that? Where's the one after that? And just kind of have an idea, or screenshots of where they're gonna be. Again, just so you know, because you do not want to run out of gas on the highway. And so just a little bit of like preparation and looking at a map could be really helpful. Another thing on a road trip, and I've given this piece of advice a million times, a lot of these things I've talked about before, but I just wanted to have a newer, you know, like short kind of video talking about this stuff. One piece of advice, especially again, if you're more out west, or if it's one of your first road trips or something like that, do not let your gas tank go anywhere close to empty. Again, if I'm on the East Coast and I'm driving down 95 or something like that, I know I'm gonna hit a gas station every few miles, so I might let it go to like a fifth of a tank or something like that. But if you are gonna be out west, or you are going somewhere new, or you are going somewhere where you do not know where gas stations are, honestly, I know you might be stopping every couple hours, but it's just really a safe idea to not go really far below a half a tank or a third of a tank. That's just my opinion, especially again, if you're out west or it's one of your first road trips. Once you hit a half a tank, maybe start looking for a gas station. And again, especially if you've already done a little bit of research and you know, okay, there is a gas station every hour, and here's how long my, you know, gas tank can go for and all that kind of stuff. You just do that really quick research and quick math ahead of time, then you won't have to like freak out. Oh no, my car is hitting a third of a tank and I've not seen a gas station in 20 minutes. Oh no, I'm nervous now, or I'm worried now. You know, if you do a little bit of preparation, then you will decrease that worry, because you'll know, okay, there are actually 3 gas stations at the exit in 20 minutes. And so I know that I'm safe because I did a little bit of planning. So I think that's like a really good idea. Don't let your car go below like a third of a tank. But if you're in the middle of nowhere, honestly, I would say half a tank if you can help it. And if you're like, oh, I have a half a tank, but there's a gas station, just stop at it. Just go, just go, just go. And use the restroom. Whenever you see a restroom, if you're on a road trip where you don't really see gas stations very often, just use the restroom, even if you don't really have to. Just use it, just in case. But also, bring one of these. Hold on, where is it? Hold on. Bring one of these if you're going on a road trip. This is what you think it is. Get one of these from Amazon. Or honestly, just get a reusable cup from anywhere, but this one has a lid. It's clean, don't worry. They could come in handy sometimes. I'm just letting you know. Anyway, all right, next, there's only a couple left. Because again, this is not an all-inclusive list. I just wanted to have a couple things on this list. The last 2 really that I'm gonna talk about are more about you. I will say this in every single video that I talk about road trips. Always make sure that you have water and snacks. Again, depending on the length of your road trip, I still think it's really good to have like a gallon of water and enough food and or snacks to last you honestly a couple days. One of my next videos will probably be like my top picks for road trip food and road trip snacks. But just to give you a really quick idea in this video, packets of tuna, packets of chicken, chips, peanut butter, any kind of like good protein and or like filling snacks like that that are not perishable are really good to keep in your car. Honestly, I have a whole bag of food, or like a container of food that I keep in my car at all times, whether I'm on the road or not, just in case. And again, it's a lot of chicken, there's some chips, stuff like that, and then some water as well. Just do it. Just do it. Again, I know you might be like, oh, I'm only going on a 4-hour road trip, so I'll just get water later. You never know. What if you hit traffic? You know what I mean? Or like, what if you start to not feel well and you're like, oh, wait, I really need food, but I didn't bring any because I thought I was just going to stop halfway. Just have some snacks. Just have some snacks, have some food, have some candy, stuff like that. Okay, and the last thing that I'm gonna talk about really quickly is when you're packing your car for your road trip, have your necessities within arm's reach. Okay, so when I'm driving and I'm on the highway, I don't drive like this. This is how they drive on TV. But I will keep water and snacks within arm's reach. I have all my snacks right here. I can literally reach down and grab snacks. I have them right here, snacks and water right here. But you know what else I have within arm's reach for while I'm driving? I have a little secret compartment right here, but even if you don't, you can keep it just anywhere in arm's reach, like in the front seat. But in this little secret compartment, I keep eyeglass cleaners, I keep nail files, I keep dental floss, I keep tweezers, I keep tampons. I have like a little button, like a little personal alarm, because I do think that it is important to have some sort of safety when you're in your car. But also, I will keep even things like deodorant and lotion and stuff like that in the front seat. Are those emergency things? No. But if I'm driving and I'm like, my hands feel so dry and now it's all that I'm thinking about, I have lotion in the front seat, you know? I will also keep my stuffed animals in the front seat. I will have my sunglasses within arm's reach. Anything like that, I keep it in the front seat in arm's reach so that if I'm driving and something is stuck in my teeth and it is annoying me so much, I have my dental floss and I can get it right out and I can get something out of my teeth, you know? And so again, that is going to depend on what you think is either necessary and or something that could be helpful for you. But I do recommend keeping it, you know, in a glove compartment or in the front seat of your car or something like that. And again, if you want me to have like a whole video dedicated to that, like what I keep within arm's reach, I can do that as well. But I just wanted to keep this video as short as possible because I wanted it just to be like a quick video. But anyway, there are going to be some things that it's really helpful to have within arm's reach so that you don't have to like stop your car just to get a snack or stop your car to put lotion on or something like that. But I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Again, this is not an all-inclusive list. So if you want like a part 2 to this, I would be happy to do that. But also let me know in the comments what your biggest tip for going on a road trip is. I would love to read it, and I know that other people would love to read it as well. I really hope that you're subscribed. I am going to be in Florida for the rest of the spring, summer, and potentially fall. So I'm going to have a lot of Florida road trip footage and just some other videos while I'm here. So I really hope that you're subscribed for like 3 videos a week. And I really hope that you're following me on Instagram as well. But yeah, I guess that's going to be it. Thank you again for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. I love you. Jesus loves you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.